As an engineer who's been about and had more than 20 years of experience, I've been to loads of different sites and met loads of different people. But why do I always ask, why are these people not qualified and have a good understanding about what they're doing? It's because at some point, when it comes to engineers, you know you have to pay for the skills and the quality and the experience. Most workplaces don't want to pay. So anyone who's kind of really good, and tell me if I'm wrong in the comment section below, if they see a workplace or an environment which is not for them, or which doesn't agree with the practices on how they do stuff, which might be the right way, which might be, making sure that we have the right type of equipment to do the right type of work, you would just keep it pushing. When I mean keep it pushing, you would just keep going. Because why fight with the policies or the culture which is inside the workplace as it is? The business culture might be, do you know what? We've got one or two people that know what they're doing, but the rest of everyone else doesn't know. I'm finding that is being a common occurrence when I go to different places. So, a little while ago, about a year ago, I used to work at another building. I do a lot of building services jobs, so I'm a supervisor in that realm. So I get to see, but I get to obviously talk to a lot of people as well and understand their skill set, where they're at, just by asking them simple questions, And some of them think that it's just me just talking to them, but really I'm figuring them out at the end of the day, because everybody does that. And when I've started to do this, when I've turned up to sites, I've started to really realise you ain't even qualified. I know you ain't qualified because you don't know the basics, what you should be doing. Then the procedures, what you know you should follow, you don't do because you don't know. That's why they have you here, right? But to me, as someone who is qualified, someone who understands what they're talking about, someone who is always willing to kind of learn the processes in different organizations, different places where I go, the fire alarm is different places where I go, to isolate and to make safe is a procedure which is generally the same everywhere else, but people skip certain parts and don't worry about that, I'll do that another time, and blah 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 blah, so on and so forth. It obviously makes me think in my head, wow man, you've come to the point where you care about the job so much and they don't. Yes, I do care about the job, because for some reason my level of scrutiny inside the workplace is very different to others, because I stand out. I'm my own person. If I don't agree with something, or if I know something's the wrong way how to do something and I still see them doing it, I will say, don't you think you should do it like this? And if somebody asks me why, and I'll say, because of that, and that. Okay, it might make someone change the way of them doing something or possibly think about it, but it also allows me to realise that those people might not have no method on how to do something. And me coming from a teaching background, I'd rather tell somebody something than watch them do something wrong. I mean, you see it so many times in these types of scenarios when it comes to work, when it comes to being an engineer and understanding what your role is and what you should be doing. It used to kind of ick me or get underneath my skin a little bit, but it doesn't anymore, because I realise that people need to be taught the right things, what to do, before you can start blasting them about, you don't know what you're doing. A lot of people don't know what they're doing. They're fucking winging it. They've been winging it most of their life. And the difference is that they've just got a lot of self-confidence now, to where the point where they feel like they understand what they're doing. But if you ask them a technical question, or ask them what's the reason why you do that, they probably couldn't tell you. It's just made me start to think to myself, you know what? There are way more people winging it than the people who understand what they're doing. And the people that understand what they're doing, they see it, they don't say too much, and they kind of move on because maybe they know that that's not the environment for them. Or some of us accept what others are doing and they don't put their name to it. They will just keep their name separate away from it because they understand this person hasn't really got much of a clue of what's going on. I recently had a conversation with someone, yeah, and we was talking, and they told me that, you know, they had a sibling who was a tradesperson, right? So I was like, okay, cool. You might have a few conversations with them. Hopefully you pick up on some stuff what they do. They ask you about certain things, and, you know, you might have a better understanding than other people. It's not guaranteed because who knows? You might not even fucking talk to your brother or your sister. Do you get what I mean? So I just asked that person some questions and realised that, for one, they didn't even know the course, what they sat on, what course code it was. But this was it was recent, so it shouldn't be that hard for you to remember what course you sat on and what your qualifications had underneath it, like what subjects you done, right? So if you was an electrician, did you do some fault finding? Did you do process of elimination? Did you do testing and inspecting? Do you understand where I'm going with this? If you're an engineer, so I'm just talking across the board. And they had not much clue on how to do something, but really they wanted to start a business, because we had a conversation about starting a business, and I was like, these are some of the things you need to get in line before you start a business. I know because I have a business, and I would always tell someone it's difficult to operate as a business coming from a tradesperson, because there's so much things that you need to take into consideration when you're operating, when you're doing what you're doing, when you're even explaining this stuff to people. So I always take the road of being able to educate people with some of the problems or some of the stuff what I've had to go through for me to grow my business, but also learn from it. I think it's always important to give positive and honest information to people when it comes to something like that, because it's a big task. It's not easy to start a business. Most people can just about manage themselves when it comes to being a tradesperson. So managing other people and projects, but also meeting deadlines, becomes a problem for most of them, because this is just to do with managing yourself, you know, making sure that you've got parts, making sure that you know what you're doing on this job, and you're not just trying to figure it out as you go along. You have some type of guide to go along, which can be difficult for some of us because we haven't got that experience. We haven't got the experience talking to customers, haven't got the experience understanding what pressure is when you're on a job and it's not 5 o'clock, you can leave. You have to leave when you finish this job. I've went through that through some time, so I understand what that level of stress is like, and it's not for everybody. Everybody doesn't want to bring that level of stress or problems to themselves while they're trying to earn a pound note. They'd rather just get it at work, and that way it's easy, and they know they're getting X at the end of the month by giving 40 hours a week, which there's no problem with that, because I believe in life that you need stability. 9 to 5 will definitely give you stability as a tradesperson, no matter what trade you are, and allow you to build up. And hopefully you're working on your skill set, and you're able to use the skills which you get inside the workplace to operate inside people's houses to make more money. And that's what our conversation was really about, really. But I realised you was so far off that, because you get a certain level of confidence while you do jobs, right? Everybody kind of should understand this, that you get a level of self-confidence while you're doing jobs. So if you change a tap and it takes you 30 minutes, you're now able to do this changing a tap within 10 minutes now. You've tested, you're happy with it, cool. You can now get it under a more manageable time frame for you to be able to say, yeah, I'll possibly do 4 taps in one day, that's not a problem. And that 4 taps will create you X amount of money. Let's say it's £400, £100 a tap. It's not bad for a little bit of day's work, as long as the taps are not too far away. Hopefully they're all in a line, and that way you can change all of them. But you have to get there, and you have to assess the job for you to understand what you need and what you need to do, and maybe what you need to have in place to be able to make the job as safe as possible. Because most workplaces can be within a controlled environment, i.e. finding the valves, i.e. making sure you're notifying the people in the area that you're able to do the jobs, and that's the same thing you would do inside a property. But the difference is that it's inside one's home now, so you need to be more mindful. You're coming early to fit or change the tap. Ask the people if they've used the tap already, and if nobody else is using it. You never know, they might have young kids, so they might need to have the tap on within a certain amount of time, because they might need to bath or change or brush their teeth, so on and so forth. But these are the type of things what I say to people. They're the skills which you need to kind of pick up during your time, and you pick up these during your time, and you understand like what you're kind of good at and what you kind of like need to work on. You might need to work on your presentation, you might need to work on your end delivery, on your summary when you're talking to customers. You might need to work on talking to customers in general. Yeah, there are a lot of people that are so out of the loop when it comes to like doing something like that. They don't know prices, they don't know rates. All of these things are available online, but I guess people like to ask people face to face, because you get that kind of understanding that that person knows what they're talking about, because they do it generally day to day. But those people can still come under the fire of like hurdles and hiccups, because that's kind of a normal thing to happen to most tradespeople. Sometimes more time is to do with like cash flow, you know, someone not paying you and all that. It's just how you're going to deal with that, because that might slow up your business for your next job, or you might be investing that money into your next job to be able to get a bigger return. That's, you might be paying out for materials. Again, you learn things over the times, isn't it? Like me personally, I don't pay out for materials. I just show people what it is and ask them to get that, because we don't need any grey lines in it. We just want you to pay for labour and the cost of whatever it is today. I find that's a lot easier and a lot more straightforward, and that way I can define what my money is compared to what I've paid out, then work out my profit. Nah, we just need to see profit. It's easier that way. But I'm like that. I guess if I was doing a different type of work, maybe I would change my style so it helped more people and it allowed me to get more customers. But my thing is not about more customers. I'm here to get quality customers and get repeat business, because they understand that I know what I'm doing. It's smooth sailing, and you know it's going to work, and you can get what you want. That's the type of tradesperson that I've decided to be, because I've seen all the other types of tradespeople, like the ones who, again, are in this industry and they're not qualified, they don't know what they're doing. It doesn't bug me a lot, because I understand that people gotta eat, people gotta make a living for themselves, and as long as you're making an honest living for yourself, an honest pound note, who can really be upset with you? The only people that can kind of be upset with you is the people who kind of went through all of the college, went through all of the learning experience, and you and them are in the same room, but you know less than them, and you're getting paid equal, or if not a little bit more. It just makes you scratch your head and ask yourself, it's about who you fucking know in this lifetime. And you need to know the right people to be able to put you in place, because more time people put on people who they like. They know that this person doesn't know what they're talking. They know that, you know, it's just not all up. It's not all up there for that person. But they're still going to employ that person, because that person's a better listener than you. That person will do what they tell that person to do, and not like sway from that. They'll just do what the other person asks them to do. Like, they're not really questioning it, because there are a level of managers and supervisors that don't like people that be defiant and ask questions and doesn't do what they tell them to do. They want people just to do actions, which is understandable as well. I'm not a yes man, so that never ever works for me as a person. I'm my own individual person. I'm not argumentative, I'm not rude, because I like to listen before I talk. And when you listen, you get to understand if someone knows what the fuck they're talking about, or if they're just chatting fucking gibberish. And more time people are chatting gibberish, and they just want to get to a point where, like, you're feeding them information, I'm talking about myself, and they're actually learning from it, but they're going on like they're not. They just be like, oh yeah, yeah. I've seen it so many times. I've seen it so many times to where I think to myself, I question myself, what am I doing wrong? And then I say to myself, I'm not doing nothing wrong. I just don't fit in this environment. This environment is based on people who are just here to learn on the low level, in a sense of learn off of people that kind of know just a bit, so they can get to just a bit, and they're probably going to move on. And that's how I find most of these building services jobs, is you find things out through certain individuals, and then it makes you a bit wiser for the next job, and a little bit more wiser for the next job, until you feel like a situation suits yourself and you could probably settle down. I'd always say to myself that having the knowledge and the experience within building services, yeah, you can imagine how many building offices there are. There's millions of them. They all need tradespeople like myself to be able to help them run, to be able to fix little problems, to be able to understand how to do stuff, which I'm super thankful for, you know, because look, at the end of the day, even though these bozos don't know what they're doing, yeah, they always create jobs for people like myself, for me to come in and understand and change around things and get things back to possibly where they should be at, and sometimes even just show people how to do stuff. Because I'm not a person who's like, because I know how to do something, I'm going to not tell another person. I'm going to ask them if they kind of like want to know, because there are a lot of these individuals who, they're not interested in fucking work. They just come work because they need the bread. Like, we all need it. But I mean, the interest is zero. The want to know about something is zero. The asking questions is zero, because of a lot of things. You know, people might be shy. People know that it's a male chauvinist environment, so therefore the point of asking a question, people are going to look at you like you're dumb. People are going to look at you like, oh, you didn't know that. Well, you didn't know that 6 months ago, mate, but now you do. You heard it this time and you remembered it and you recited it to someone else and wanted to go on like you just knew everything. It doesn't work like that, man. People all learn off of each other. We learn off of people who we look at as knowledgeable. And I know that because sometimes people see me on face value, yeah, they might not think I know so much, but when they realise maybe who I am, or they go online and they see all these things on about me, they realise, oh, my man knows his stuff, you know, my man's da-da-da-da. That's cool, because that's cool for me. But when I tried to help, or I tried to give out that olive branch, you moved weird. And anytime those people move weird for me, I just don't help them. Because I think it's just like, I don't know how many people reach out to try and help you, or try and help the better in you and see the better in you. But for those who do, sometimes it's met with a level of defiance. And I've kind of been baffled about it, because I'm like, you asked me about it. Now I'm helping you. You want to question the advice what I'm giving you with no research done of yourself, just answers in your head. Oh, but you know, you should do it like this. Oh, but don't you have to do that? You don't even know. You ain't even been bothered to search it on your smartphone while you're being smart. Do you get it? You haven't done your own research. And I guess that's why a lot of mature trades people who are professional and been out here for a long time, They ain't got time to be talking to these people. They just do their thing. But I just think life is just a little bit more than that. Like, always holding back this information or holding back a bit from people, it's not going to help them, and it's not going to help the industry. I've known for a long time that the industry, when it comes to building services, all of the trades, what it covers, yeah, is fucked. Because the people who are teaching them are not teaching them nothing. And even when they leave after 2 to 3 years, even 5 years, those people who are just newly qualified and all that, I'm sorry, but the likelihood of you knowing fuck all is fucking high. Very high. We expect you to know the basics. We expect you to know the things which were in your exams and the things which you done in your practical lessons. But the things which you practice and do now, we expect you to be able to deliberate them. We expect you to be able to give us a good summary and tell us what you've done. And I get it. There are some people who are younger who get into the trade that they're not that interested. I wasn't that interested at the beginning. But there becomes a point where you start to say to yourself, this is what you're going to do, you know, unless you plan to have any other job at another point. And if you do, cool, no problem. Kudos to you. Like, sometimes things don't always work out doing this one thing. But for a person like myself who stayed on doing plumbing for the best part of 20 years, I don't know everything, but I know a lot. I don't always want to be telling what I know because knowledge is power. But always enlightening other people and sharing where I get bits of information from to help them just with their general day-to-day. That's free. Always going to be free for me until I see a level of like you being rude or cocky or some type of bullshit like that, which, you know, just makes me think about college kids who try and be rude on the first day and all that. All of them know. Any of them who's had me as a lecturer over the years, they know. You tried to be rude on the first day, you had a bit of attitude, I just don't help you. Because you're not helping yourself. We can't help people that don't want to help themselves. That don't make sense. How can we be the only person that's trying to help you? I know that having a trade and having a job is not easy. But you got to look at your options in life, innit? And if your options are slim, you need to start looking at the things which have been working for you and how you can build on them, innit? Because life is about building. It's not about winging it every second of the day. I know a lot of people in construction and trades, and especially building services, they just wing it. They don't know what they're talking about. They're talking shit. I know that because I have conversations with people that are 26, with people that are 20, and those people are quote unquote qualified people, and people who are in their 30s, 33. I've had conversation with those people, and I still know you don't know what you're talking about. There has to become a time and a place where you say to yourself, I'm going to start knuckling down. And that allows other people to take you a little bit more seriously. But now when I see them and I have that 1 minute or 2 minute conversation, I just don't take them seriously, man. We best just talk about jokes. There's no point talking to me about work. I just wanted to make this video to make it very clear that a lot of those people in those environments don't have the qualifications, neither do they have the skills, and neither do they have the ability to want to learn right now. Distance yourself from many of those people if you want to excel, innit? I've been wanting to excel for some years. Find yourself a good mentor. Find yourself someone you can learn from, who you look up to, and who you can say, do you know what? As a tradesperson, I respect what they do and I enjoy possibly watching their content like myself, and you can learn off of them. Because transparency, yeah, everyone's made mistakes. I've made mistakes, but I will tell people about my mistakes. And I know now why my mistakes went wrong. It's not to say that I will never make mistakes ever again, because we're human. But at some point, at some time, you got to start giving a little bit more Like, I'm coming across people that, yeah, say you've been a tradesperson for 5 years, but your qualifications ain't there. You ain't got them. Oh, but I'm still in college. Something happened with this and that. Okay. You let people mess around with your time and your future and the papers, which are so important. It's up to you, man. We move different, innit? Make sure you subscribe, yeah? Because I'm going to make a few episodes where I'm outside in the garden and we talk about it, because the garden's the best place to talk about it. And I didn't really want to make this video like getting onto those types of people, but it's too much in your face, man. I see it so many times. I saw it at a job what I was at before, and this guy told me he was an electrician, and when they started saying to him, we need to start seeing your paperwork and stuff like that, he had none. But they let him do a lot of electrical work which only electricians should be doing, and when it was time to do things like rewire a light, it would take him ages, and the workplace wasn't putting bells and whistles to it, but they weren't paying him like a proper electrician as well. So I guess if you don't pay people the rate, you can ask them to do what they want because you told them that they got the experience and all that. Anyway, it's unsafe for those people to be working in the industry. That's how I look at it. And obviously it's taking a job from someone who has actually got the qualifications. That's how I look at it as well, bottom line. So let me know how you feel about people like that, because I know everybody's met someone like that. And again, I don't really care if I'm getting onto people who are in that bracket. Get yourself sorted out, man, because you're becoming a hazard and a danger to the rest of us in the industry. That's just it. Like, we all want everyone to have a safe day. You always want to come to work, make money, go home. Don't want it to be a stressful one. I've seen it be a stressful mare so many times at work just because someone doesn't know what they're doing, and you have to go and do Superman and go and save the day for them. It's too much, man. We're going to have to start charging you out of your wages. It's only right. Only makes sense. But I want to hear some of you guys' story in the comment section, because I know I do have a lot of tradey people on my YouTube channel. So I want to hear your stories back, if you ever had someone like that, or if you ever come across someone like that, and how you dealt with it. Like I said, I always try and encourage it until that person tries to be rude or tries to be some type of way about the information which I'm giving them, when I know they haven't done any due diligence, they haven't done any research, and they haven't done any planning to be able to get to the next stage, but they want information from people. I'm always trying to be helpful. That's all I'm trying to be from the beginning. But the minute, you get a little friction with someone and someone tells you, oh, but I do my thing like this, but your thing's not working. Your thing is not even official. Nobody knows that. What is it? Do you get it? Because we're talking about nonsense. And that's why I personally, I get really annoyed when I speak to people and I tell them about some things, how to get set up in the right way, and they don't do it for themselves. We ain't got nothing else to talk about, man. Again, I don't have time to waste my time, because I realise when I do speak to people who are set up, and we are professional tradespeople, they don't even have them conversation with people. So I need to stop having them conversation with people, and I will. But I'll always try and help first, because I understand how much we need help in this lifetime. Whether it's doing something small or doing something big, you always need a helping hand and someone else to help you out. So don't be that person who's, writing these people off, because out of those 10 individuals who are like that, you could probably change 2 people, and that's good enough, man, because they could change 2 people as well. And that way we got 4 people changed. Do you get it? That's what type of mindset that I think of. But what I would like you guys to do is leave your little comments underneath this video. Appreciate you guys for coming on, checking out and listening to it, because this ain't going away. This is only just starting to really ramp up. People are actually really going to see what it's like in these industries now, with the people who we have to be able to sell our industry and to keep it afloat. like, share and subscribe. And drop your comments below, man, because I want to hear what you guys have got to say, because I know people have come across these types of people before. What did you do? You know, my thing is just to try and help them first. We don't write them off first. We help them first. And if they try and write it off, we write them off. Make sure you like, share and subscribe. And I'll see you on the other side. Let's get it.